Take two. Let's see if this works. So this is my first YouTube video I've ever made. So I apologize if the production quality is not super high, but I'm going to give myself a little leeway since, I'm kind of making this for me and I don't even know if anybody's going to watch it. But I think if anybody does and they get something positive out of it, then I view this as a success. So today, I guess I should give some background first. Um, I'm 21 years old. I don't want to give my name, so let's call me Jack. I'm Jack. I am from, I don't know if you can see because I positioned the shot poorly, but San Francisco, born and raised, and senior in college. And by all kind of standards and metrics, I have a pretty good life. I go to a nice school. I have a lot of friends. Um, I do well academically. I've had job experience, work experience. I've had positive relationships. Got my heart broken a couple times, but who hasn't? And by all standards and metrics, I have a good life. And yet, I've always struggled with self worth. And I mean, I'm a pretty optimistic guy. I'm a pretty positive person. But I get trapped. I get trapped in these loops of just getting down on myself. It's so easy for me, especially, and I know for a lot of other people too, to just kind of be really mean to myself. And it's not healthy, but I'll have bad weeks or bad months even. And that's been a reoccurring thing for 21 years. But within the past 6 months or so, I've made a massive improvement. And I'm really happy about it. But I think a lot of people still could benefit maybe from hearing my own struggle with self-worth and what I kind of see as the way out of the self-deprecation, the way out, the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will, for self-worth and feeling like you have value as a person. Because it's so hard, especially when you're depressed, when you're experiencing a loss in some way or fashion. Um, what I find is that um, most times when your self-worth is really low, it's because you've experienced rejection in some shape or form. Whether that be a job you didn't get that you really wanted, or playing a sport, some athletic ambition where you were told you weren't good enough, or a friendship that just broke down and crumbled. And probably, if we're being honest here, most impactfully, a loss of love. If you had a relationship that didn't work out, um, that can all really impact your self worth. And the source of that is that you're putting your self worth out into the world externally. Whether it be in things or people. Um, that's the root of the problem. So that's the first thing to understand here is like, especially for the latter, if you put all your self worth into a person and then that person in some way, shape, or form is not in your life anymore, I mean, like, of course you're going to feel terrible because it's like if the person that matters most to you in the entire world decides that they don't really want anything to do with you anymore, yeah, you're going to feel worthless. You're going to feel discarded. But you have to realize that that's you putting your value on them. And that's not healthy. Um, so to avoid that and to kind of like gain self-worth back, I think it's really important to kind of follow like a routine, like a set of, at least for me, what's helped me is I've established like an action plan that I do that makes me feel this much better about myself as a person. Because like it does all boil down to rejection. And what you have to understand about human psychology is that we're actually kind of hardwired to think about the negative because it's a survival instinct. If you're thinking about all the bad things that can happen to you, you're being cautious, and in 2,000, 3,000 years ago, you'd be preserving your safety. But in the modern day, in this digital age, tech capital of the world, by the way, that will ruin your life. And it will only cause you anxiety if you are just constantly thinking about how to survive. And if you think you don't matter as a person, it's probably just a lack of information about who you are. And that might not make sense at first. I've never in my life met somebody that had literally nothing to offer. Everybody has something to offer. Even the worst person that guy you hate, that girl you talk shit about or talk shit about you. Um, Even the worst people have value, and they have something to offer. You have something to offer, and you may not know what it is yet. Um, you may not have found the one for you, or you may not have found your calling, your career, or you may not even know what you want in life at all, or you may not have discovered an interest or passion, but you will. You just have to give it time. You have to give it time. But there's steps to this. There's steps to rebuilding your self-worth when it comes crashing down, or if you've been stuck in a rut for a while, there's steps. And the first one, the step A, is you just got to move. And sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's really rough, but you can't stay in that bed or that room. You have to get out. You're trapping yourself physically, but you're also trapping yourself mentally. Because when you lay in that bed, or when you're shut up in your room all day, there's nothing to do but think. And if you're an overthinker or you're an anxious person, guess what? That's what you're going to do in that room, is just get stuck in that loop of negativity about whatever it is you're worrying about. It could be you're grieving a loss, somebody died, or it could be, um, you broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend and you miss them so much it physically hurts. It could be that you failed at at a dream you've been dreaming about for the longest time, and you're just devastated. You have to move. You have to get out of the room. You have to go out into the world, because that's where you're going to get new experiences. You're not going to experience anything new by staying in your room. And, if you're stuck in your head and you're stuck on the past, you're stuck in memory, the way to combat that is by building new ones. You got to build new memories. You got to get out into the world. And that's something amazing could happen to you. It might not be any day, any given day, but I promise you that nothing good will happen to you by staying in one spot. And when you go out into the world, you increase the probability of discovering something that you didn't even know existed that you care about. And whether it be just outside the front porch, whether it be down your street, or whether it be an entire country, across the fucking ocean, moving is the key, the first step to building the pedestal that is your self-worth. Is you got to move around. You cannot be stagnant. If you stay in one place, you're literally impeding your own growth as a person. So I would say the first key to improving your self-worth is you got to move around. And I know it's hard. I've had days like that where you can't. It's almost like this Herculean task just to get out of bed in the morning. But if you do, you will feel that much better because you accomplished something. No matter how small, you accomplished something. And that kind of ties into my next point is you have to do what you love. And that sounds so dumb. I know it sounds dumb. But like wake up in the morning and write a list about like three things that you love, that you're passionate about, that you want to do that day. And if you do them, like you'll feel better. So like I mean, for me, and I know it sounds cheesy, like I have a lot of interests. I love nature, I love science, I love sports, I love boxing, I love surfing, I like watching the 49ers. I like to paint, I like art, I like architecture. But so I'll wake up in the morning and I'll write today. I'm gonna work out for an hour and box for 30 minutes. Step one. Step two. Today I'm gonna go to the ocean and I'm gonna go surf with my friend for 30 minutes, hour, however long. Today I'm going to paint a painting, or I'm going to start painting a painting. And come nightfall, you have, no matter how small, you have checks on three things you've accomplished. And they're tangible assets. Like you paint a painting, nobody can take that away from you. That's a tangible asset. That's something you created out of nothing. You created something out of nothing. That is value. That is value. You have created value in the world. Even if you walk down the street and you say good morning to somebody and you smile at them. That probably made their day better. That was value that you added into the world just by existing. And that's kind of the key to everything, right? Is you cannot think of yourself as a loser. You cannot think of yourself as somebody with no value because you have value. I promise you do. But you just have to believe, even when it's hard, even if it feels like you're worthless, in some way, shape, or form, you are making the world a better place just by living in it. And it's really hard to see that, um, especially when you're in those stages of whether it be anxiety or depression or whatever it is you're feeling. It's really hard, to feel like that. But that kind of brings me to what I see as like the magnum opus of it all. The third and final step to finding your self worth and being a better person, um, is you gotta stop the negative thoughts, which is really hard. Like I know, I've felt like that before. I know it's difficult, but the thing is, being mean to yourself will get you nowhere. And I know it's hard to be nice to yourself sometimes, especially when you don't feel like you're doing anything positive. But um, my friend told me this a couple weeks ago, and it stuck with me because I kind of internalized it, and now I'm kind of seeing that he was right. As he said, um, self-hatred is inherently narcissistic, and he's kind of right. You're still only thinking about yourself, even if you're like, oh, I'm such a loser, or like I can't believe I fucked that up. I can't believe I made that mistake. Like you're still only thinking about yourself, and that's very unhealthy. It's Nobody wants to be around a narcissist or somebody that's negative all the time or somebody that's self-deprecating all the time, because the truth of the matter is, like, And it sucks, but like nobody wants to hang out with depressed people. Like it's just not fun. So to like get yourself out of that loop, you have to view it as like I'm being a narcissist right now and kind of just internalize that. And then, and this is the key, people say be positive, but what bullshit. Like, when the world's caving in on you, like be positive, stick it up your ass. You know what I mean? Like, but what I mean when I say stop the negative self-talk is you have to think about all the things in your life that you're grateful for. And this has been like proven by psychologists is the brain cannot be in a state of anxiety and a state of gratitude simultaneously. There is no superposition. They cannot both occur at once. You're either one or the other. So what I've found works for me and hopefully works for you is think about all the things in your life you're grateful for. Even if you don't have much, there's something to be grateful for. There's some diamond in the rough. Whether it be maybe you're feeling lonely and you don't have a lot of friends, but maybe you have like a cat or a dog, some tangible thing that makes you feel appreciated. Focus on that. You know, maybe you have great parents that support and love you. Think about them. Maybe you do have a wonderful relationship and you have this amazing wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Focus on that. Focus on the positives in your life. Even the smallest thing, even the smallest positive thing can make you feel that much better about yourself and who you are as a person. So like yesterday, right? I was flying here all the way from the East Coast. I go to school on the East Coast. And it's like a 6-hour flight. It got delayed, turned into an 8-hour flight. They lost my bag at the airport. Goddamn USFO. And goddamn you United. But it turned into this 12-hour travel day. And I got stuck in the negative. And just thinking about how miserable, how tired I was. I didn't sleep the night before. And I was kind of thinking about all the bad shit that had happened to me in the past 6 months as I was alone on that plane with a dead phone and no way to distract myself. And then as I was getting off the plane, it made me smile a bit. That made that whole day worth living. Is that even though it was that small of a moment, it was literally 3 seconds. But so getting off the plane, a baby smiles at me and reaches out like that, and in my eyes, that made that whole day worth it. So when you center your mind like that and really, really try and find like the bad, which I know is so hard, but I'm telling you, if you just think about all the things that you have instead of focusing on what you don't have, you'll feel better about not only yourself, but life as a whole. And like, that's kind of the key to everything. Is the key to building that your self-worth, the key to being the person you are, like the key to building this new version of yourself is really to like take these steps, combine them, and even though it's hard, even if it feels like you're being swallowed by this all-consuming darkness, this tiniest good, the indomitable things where you persevere and you will keep going. Like you'll be able to push on. You'll find strength you did not know you had. yeah, I mean, like, just never give up. Never like one bad day doesn't make a bad week, doesn't make a bad month, doesn't make a bad life. And that my dad says that a lot because like what he sees in me, which is funny, is like I'll have one bad moment, right? And I'll get stuck on it and it'll ruin my whole day. Like I'll get in like a fight in like a road rage incident where like I'll yell at some guy and he'll yell at me back and then I think about it all day. But by extricating myself from the situation and by thinking about all the positives, like shit like that goes away. And it really is the key to being a better version of yourself is to do all these things in tandem. You have to move around. You have to do what you love. You have to stop being mean to yourself. And easier said than done. Like what that's really the only way out. And I believe that everybody and having a meaningful and fulfilling life. But I guess the takeaway here and what I'm trying to communicate is that even if you feel like you're worthless, like you have no value, like, you know, you're trash, you're nothing. There is something in you that is special and you may just not know it yet. It may take time, like most things do. I mean, it's part of life. You have to be patient. But if you stick to it and you do all this, you'll be a more confident person and you'll be leagues above, like you won't even recognize who you were before because self-worth comes from within. That's it. It comes from here. Does not come from the whole outside world. I mean, being in nature helps. I would definitely encourage people to do that because, being inside on a screen is certainly not good for your mental health, but it has to come from within. It really does. And those are the steps to accomplish that. To move, to do what you love, to stop the negative self-talk, and to focus on the positives. And I think that can help anybody. It certainly helped me. But yeah, that's my message. And I'm kind of talking to myself right now. Like I literally am talking to myself. I don't even know if anybody's going to watch this, but if they do, or if you do, I hope it's helpful in some way. I really do. I hope it's helpful because it's helped me a lot. And even talking about it just now out here by myself in the great outdoors, like it's helpful. So I hope you accomplish and achieve everything you want in life. And I hope it's fulfilling. Thank you for watching.